The views expressed on this episode, as with all episodes of We Hate Your Baby Daddy, are based solely on our personal opinions and shit we heard in the streets.
The content here should not be taken as indisputable fact. This show is for entertainment purposes only, so enjoy and don't come for us.
Welcome back to another episode of We Hate Your Baby Daddy with Bree and D.
Hello.
And we're on camera again today. Hey. So if you're listening on Spotify, you'll be able to see us in the flesh. We had a question that we wanted to ask. So me and Didi had this idea to make a show or an episode about mother-in-laws, like your baby daddy's moms, because we were talking, we have some experiences with our baby daddy's moms. When I used to be married, I had some experiences with my mother-in-law when I was married, and I was like, what is it with these women? I almost said bitches, but
Call
trying to
them
be
bitches,
nice.
girl. Call them bitches. You can't be nice to them. They're
Major,
bitches.
major bitches. So we wanted to make an episode about that. So we put out like kind of like a call to action post to ask, our listeners, if you have any stories that you want to share about your baby daddy's mom, you can DM us, or what would be awesome, you can actually click the link in our show like description, and there's a link there to send us a voice message. We can just play your voice like we have in past episodes on the show. Um, and it will be totally anonymous. You don't have to use your name. We can make up names for our mother-in-laws that like we do for Drunky Crashy and Party City Skeletons, so we don't say their names. So it can be totally anonymous. Just send us a message, DM us on Instagram. You can DM us on Twitter, on TikTok, I think, can you send YouTube DMs? I don't think so. But you can also send us a message on Instagram, and we will read the story on your show.
Yes, please, please, please give us some fresh new material. Because there's like a lot of stories going around on the internet, and like you can't confirm if they're real or not. But like if you tell us, you know that they're real.
Right? Because why would you lie? That's the thing. Like, these people will always try to gaslight you and be like, oh, I never did that. Like, remember when Drunky Crashing got mad at me about that episode where we talked about like what he did? And
That
he
never
was
happened.
right. And he was like, actually, the funny thing is, I don't even think he said that. I think what he said was, why are you telling people about me? So he just didn't want me, yeah, he didn't want me to talk about my real life experiences. And I'm like, you did the shit. Like,
I mean, if you didn't want anybody to talk about it, either you shouldn't have
don't
did it or
do
you should have did
it.
something to like rectify the situation, which you did not do. You made it worse. So I don't know. Fuck
I
you.
I told him, I was like, if you don't want to be the villain in my story, stop doing villainous shit. He just looked me on red after that. Because what else can you say? Like, he's like, let's
You
leave it in
can't
the
argue with a
past.
you cannot argue with a man that crashed a fucking Tesla. That's a self-driving car. So like what else can you say to a dude like that? Like he is the
Nasty
villain in
word.
this story.
He's a villain in his own fucking story. He's like, that meme is like, you be your own self with the stick in the spokes on the bike that I always used to send you. You're like,
You did that literally. Except it would be like the bike would be the Tesla, the Tesla would be beeping like, no, no, don't.
he'd always be like, I'm in the hospital. I have an upset tummy. I'm like, oh, are you okay? Well, I ate some. What would you eat? Like,
I would eat anything, honestly. Like, I don't want to talk about it. I eat like terrible shit. I don't
okay,
want to talk
I
about
will
it. We can
come
like
for
save it
you.
for another
I will come
episode.
for you in mixed company.
If you know, you know. If you know me, you know. I
You
just
know
be
you.
eating some shit I shouldn't eat.
And I'm like, that's an that me putting the
Oh wait,
stick in
I'll
your
bring it up. I'll bring it
spokes.
up. The last time that I went on like a Valentine's Day trip, this guy was like, I know this perfect place for you, right? He took me to this place called Munchies in Florida. And he
Munchies.
was
That
like, this is
already
this,
sounds.
I know. And he was like, this is like this perfect menu item. It was a peanut butter and jelly cheeseburger.
Didi, what the fuck is that? Is that a real food item that they sell? So you're telling
Swear to
me
God, you can look it up. And I tore that shit up right in front of him, and he was like, "Yep, that's my girl."
it's a cheeseburger with peanut butter and jelly on it, with the
Hell
cheese
yeah.
and the meat. Okay. Was there also mayonnaise and like mustard,
I put ketchup on it
ketchup?
and
Hmm.
jalapenos.
Ketchup, peanut butter jelly, jalapeno burger. Is
Yeah,
that right?
it
Is that
was.
right?
Yeah, I mean, like it was like a munchie. Like I don't personally, I don't partake in the 420.
Uh-huh.
So like, I think the
Oh,
people,
that's what kind of, okay. That
munchies,
makes more
people around
sense.
me were completely blasted. I don't partake. I was completely stone cold sober during this shit.
I don't smoke either, so I that didn't even occur to me. But yeah, munchies. Okay, that makes sense.
So it was hilarious. Like he was like, "You're the only person in here sober eating this shit." And I'm like, "Yep."
And fucking and enjoy
Yeah, I'm
tearing
like,
that
"Yeah, I'm
shit
having a
up.
great time." They're like, "Oh, you want this?" I'm like, "Nope, I'm fine." They're like, "Oh wow, she really smoked." He was like, She doesn't smoke."
Nope, she's having a grand old time. I can just picture you
But
too.
yeah, yeah, I was happy. You should see a picture of it, and it was awful. He had like jalapeno poppers, and they I don't know, it was like molted in the middle, and he like bit into one, and he like had like second degree burns in his mouth for the rest of the
Oh
day.
my God.
It was really fucking funny. It
What
was
kind of
really funny.
restaurant is this?
Munchies down
Munchies.
in Sarasota, Florida.
I gotta remember so I never go there.
I don't
Um,
think you would want to.
I mean, I know how my digestive system is. I also get roasted for setting myself up for failure. But that is not a place I would step foot in. I mean, I can't even really talk. I went to a place when I was in North Carolina. I went to a place called Wiener Works. Wiener Works. It was like a hot dog restaurant. But I got a burger there and it was good. The
You
burger
want
was good.
them wieners, huh?
I
A
wanted to
brie
know
was
about
worth the
Wiener Works.
inconvenience.
And I kept calling it Weenie Hut Jr. I was like, honey, can we go to Weenie Hut Jr. because we drove by it on the road? And he was like, of course, baby, whatever you want. To get a Wiener
I mean, like, that's kind of like my, oh my God, that's my downfall too. Like, I'll
Wiener.
tear up a fucking hot dog. I'm a glizzy goblin. I'll
They're
fuck up a
like
hot dog in
meat
a minute.
tubes, and it should be terrible, but it's not.
It's so
Processed meat
goddamn
tube.
good.
Agree.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and jump into the episode. That's the note we're gonna end that.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, fuck with that tangent.
Send us voice messages, and also here's the episode. All right, so today we're gonna talk about the baby daddy who I did not know any of this. And Dee did some great research. And you know what? Dee, why don't you walk us through this man?
Okay. Again, you guys probably didn't know this, but this is coming for your faves again. We are roasting your baby daddy, Jackie Chan, also known as Chan Kong Sang, was born on April 7th, 1954 in Hong Kong. His parents were both political refugees from China, and he was fleeing from the Chinese Civil War, which is like the first time I've heard of that. Like China had a civil war. They're like really good at keeping shit under wraps, or like the American like educational system really fucking sucks. Either one. I don't
Right?
know. But he lived in Hong Kong for some time, and like he shuffled around from like there in Australia in his 20s, and that's when he really got his big break in like acting and martial arts. So he's a martial artist, comedian, actor, writer, producer, and a singer in China.
I didn't know that.
Really big singer in China. Like he's huge in China. Did not know
Interesting.
that.
Mm-mm, didn't know
But
that.
did you also know that he's a piece of shit baby daddy?
This was news to me. I mean, you know, the thing about actors is that you don't when you see them on the TV, like, Jackie Chan's had this career, like, since I've been alive. And so you would think, oh, he plays all these, like, funny, like, happy-go-lucky characters. You don't think about the fact that in real life, a lot of these celebrities are fucking assholes. Like, I mean, I never would have known this if you didn't tell me. But
Yeah, like he loves to get off. He loves to like get off, and like he loves to get off like that lovable family man. Oh, I'm like the lovable Asian dad image, but like he's
the
like an
lies.
absent
It's all a
Asian dad.
lie.
He's the worst Asian dad you could possibly get.
Let's
I've known a
jump
lot of Asian
into.
dads, but he sucks.
He is like, I don't care if you become a doctor or a lawyer, just get out of my face. Oh wait, no, let's get into it. Let's get into it.
No, he doesn't. He's not even a doctor or a lawyer type.
Now, like, how most Asian dads are like, they want their kids to become like, a doctor or a lawyer, like have a successful life. Jackie Chan's like, fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, fuck it. I don't even care. Catch these hands. No, literally. Literally. I didn't even
Literally.
make that joke.
Yo. So in 1982, Jackie Chan married his first wife, who was a Taiwanese actress named Joan Lin. And he had his first son, JC Chan, that year. And it's JC like JCJYCEE that year. And JC Chan is also a singer and an actor. And you know how so Jackie Chan has this like wholesome good guy image that we mentioned, but he's a whore and a slut. And he had an affair while he was married with another actress. And he baby mamaed her. He had a baby on his wife. So his baby mama's name's Elaine Nilay. Cannot pronounce that. Ng
Elaine Ing Yile.
Inilay. There we go. That actually wasn't too hard. Another actress. And she won Miss Asia in 1990. So she was a bad bitch. Like, a lot of the Miss America and like Miss Universe and like those pageant girls, like they're so pretty. Like, I mean, sometimes I be watching them and I'm like, I have to look away 'cause it's making me feel like I'm sitting here eating a bag of chips. Like, I'm like,
No, she was like really, really pretty, and she wasn't like the modern like cookie cutter like China like I don't want to say like the Eastern beauty standard of just like cookie cutter. Like she was
yeah.
beautiful
Oh,
in
I
her
gotta look her up.
prime.
I gotta look her up and feel bad about myself. So
Girl,
anyway, so anyway, they had a baby girl. Her name was Etta. I just said this and now I'm struggling again.
like this is funny as hell because she makes me pronounce the fucking
I
ghetto
know.
baby names, and now I'm making her suffer about pronouncing the Asian names.
Oh
This
my
is all
God.
you.
Etta Ning Chuk Lam. And Elaine, at the time when she gave birth, she was 19 years younger than Jackie Chan, which is terrible. I mean, those big kind of age gaps, it's like everybody always tries to say, oh, well, she was an adult. She's a teenager. Like, ew, it's predatory. But nobody over there like made a huge deal about it. They were just like, whatever. Like, so
It happens.
it
He's a
happened.
big shot.
Big shot, big shot. You know that the Kendrick Lamar song. I'm sorry. Anyway,
I feel like
every time I hear that, that's all I hear. Doo, 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 doo. Big shot,
no,
big
dude.
shot,
Like
big shot.
your musical references always kill me.
My rapping abilities.
So basically, after she gave birth to Etta, he claimed he gave her $70,000 in Hong Kong money and 600,000 when she moved to Shanghai. But Elaine's lawyer claimed she didn't receive anything, and apparently she didn't receive anything because there's like no documentation whatsoever. And like as she grew up, she has nothing to live off of. Like as an adult, like she's barely an adult now. Like she just turned 18 like a couple of years ago, and she has no nest egg. She has
Yeah.
nothing.
And now she's a baby mama, and he
Yeah,
was lying about supporting her, and he's not.
and he's still making money in royalties. She has nothing to live off of. So like, yeah, she has
Terrible.
nothing to get off of. So like, eventually she got like sick of his bullshit, and she got fed up with him, and she's just like, she'll like, I'll take care of it. I'll take care of her myself. Like, do what you're doing. I don't really want to deal with this. Like it was very shameful for her as well
I'm
because
sure,
like
yeah, like,
nobody
she,
wanted to blame him. Everybody blamed her. Like, why would you
yeah.
tempt him?
And all she was trying to do was like become an actress and, do pageants. And then he's like, come here, bitch, and like knocks her up and then produces. Like, why would you do that to someone at the start of their career? Like, that just ruined her life.
And of course, like they asked for his comment about it, but he was just basically like, "Well, this is what men do." And like
Like,
most of
no,
the guys in
Jackie.
China were just like, "Yeah, I guess that's what they do." But most of the women in
Wow.
Hong Kong were like, "What the fuck? That's not what-" like there was like a big contrast.
That's what you do.
Like, "No, that's what you do." Like, no, that's not what we do over here. But anyway, his main audience were like, "Yeah, Jackie, we understand. We cheat on our wives. We have outside
Okay.
children. They're just
Like
like
children
a
with
bridge across in
teenagers.
life. Yeah, that's fine.
So fucking
You just like
ghetto.
left your kid. Yeah." So basically, it was hilarious. Like that was a scandal, but only for her. Like it didn't really affect his career at all, as you can possibly see, because then he went overseas and became hit it big. Like it didn't even hit him that hard.
And yeah, and
Meanwhile,
he
her,
must have a good like publicist because I didn't know about any of the stuff that we're about to cover. Like this is terrible how he
it's
is.
funny that you talk about his publicist because he has very big powers that be that don't let a lot of this stuff get out. And it is not just his publicist or, any of that. Like it's more than just his
Like the
managers and his
CCP.
handlers.
Yeah.
Yeah, big Pooh
Crazy.
Bear. So he admitted in his own memoir that he's a piece of shit. Like this
He's
isn't stuff that
self-owned.
we yeah, no, like this isn't stuff that we made up. This isn't stuff that people told about him. This isn't blind items. This is stuff that he wrote down himself. He was like, he loves blackjack and hookers. He loves alcohol.
I'm so, I'm so glad that you included that because I'm always saying, I'm like, you know what, fuck this. Like, let's start our own thing with blackjack and hookers.
That's exactly what he did. He like left his wife and kid at home and his baby mama and his other kid. He was like, fuck this. I'm gonna do this with blackjack and hookers. So he's like a violent drunk and he was violent towards his own baby son JC, and at 2 years old he catapulted him with his own bare, what is it, drunken fist, I guess, because this is kung fu we're talking about, his
That's
own
right.
bare
He's a martial
drunken
artist.
fist style. He drunken fisted him across the living room, and
A
thank
little
God he hit the
2-year-old
couch.
toddler.
Yeah, a 2 year old toddler across the living room. He hit the couch, thank God, because if he didn't, there would
He
be
would
no
be
JC today.
dead.
Like, mind you, like we understand that he does like a lot of comedy acting, like he does his own stunts, but Jackie Chan, he is a black belt martial artist. He's a master at martial arts. He's a very fucking strong, grown ass man.
Can you
He
imagine
could
getting
break your
picked
back.
up and thrown? What's a
This is
famous martial
this is
artist?
Bruce Lee. This is Jackie Chan. The only thing that's the difference between these two is a big old smile.
Right? Exactly. How can you pick up your kid? I mean, listen, we have kids. I look at my little baby, and she's been teething lately, so she's been kind of mean. But like, I can't imagine the thought of, you know what? You're pissing me off right now. I'm gonna pick you up as hard as I fucking can and just throw you across the room.
And you
Who
can't
would do
even
that?
say like as a mother, like, oh well, what did the mom do? What the fuck can you do? This is a
Well,
black
he's a martial
belt martial
artist.
artist. He's gonna whoop my ass.
Right. I'd be like cowering in the corner. Like, I mean, you can't even, I'd probably be too scared to call the police. Like, you'd be like, give me the phone, bitch, break it in his
And I
hand.
don't mean to make this joke, but there is a martial artist style called the drunken
You
fist. Like
know,
even if he does get drunk, there's no stopping this man. And he got
it makes him
drunk.
stronger. He's like Chris
And
Brown with the, it powers him up.
yeah, it just makes him stronger and it makes him duck and weave better. Like
Not ducking
you're
and
out of
weaving
it. You're out of it. You're out of it. You're out of it. Like this man has been training. Anyway,
his
he's
whole
very
life.
insecure. He's very violent. He's a known drunk, known philanderer. He loves hookers. Loves hookers. There was a hooker called, what was it? He didn't even give her a name. It was called Hooker Number 9.
No, in the memoir?
In the memoir, yeah, hooker
He
number
wrote
nine.
about
He loved her.
hooker number nine.
Hooker number nine. Don't
Oh
know
my
about her. Wasn't
God.
given her a name. They probably scrubbed her off the face of the earth knowing his
Oh, I'm
ties,
sure.
but yeah, he loved that woman to death, but nobody knows who she is, what she is. We just know that she was a hooker and
He loved her. Like they had like a relationship.
she was Jackie and that Chan is all we can say. And he's very insecure. When he dated one actress, before he dated his wife, Teresa Tang, he would purposely get sloppy drunk and would be obnoxious in public events to embarrass her on purpose.
So pathetic. Drunk
And he
Jackie
knew that
Chan would be
nobody, but that's the
terrifying.
thing, but that's the thing. His whole motto is, well, who's gonna whoop my ass?
Right. What you gonna do about it? I'm be as drunk as I want. Like, okay,
You gonna whoop
Jackie,
my
okay.
ass? You gonna whoop my ass?
God, picking up
No,
2-year-olds and
Jackie,
tossing
you
them.
got it. You got it. I'm not gonna whoop your ass, Jackie. So, also in the memoir, he didn't really admit it. He bragged that this man blew $2 million on just food and gifts for him and his friends.
And that's like 90s money. So today that would be more. And
So I'm telling you, it was what was it, bros and bow and dim sum before hoes.
bow before breakfast, but not in the way that you think. Bow buns.
Mm-mm.
That was all he was eating. Just bow
He
bow
was
on
on
bow.
munch. No,
I low key,
and
I love bow buns. But now I can't ever
I
look at
love
them
them
the same.
too. I know. I'll be looking at that pork bun like, damn,
When they're
Jackie was
fresh
out
and
here whooping
steamed,
people's ass.
just chewing on it.
Give me some chili
Man.
oil, but still.
Throw in toddlers and just fucking around with hookers. Hookers and blow. Um,
So eventually, at the end, female stars, like I wouldn't say like at the end of his career, but like more recently, now that like it's more safe to come out for you don't get blackballed like Michelle Yeoh. She said that
mhm,
he's a chauvinistic pig. Like he sucks. Like anybody that's like not scared to come out about him, that knows about him closely, knows that don't get too close to him. One. And
mhm.
two, who he portrays to be is not who he is in person. Like, do not get close to that man. He's a fucking asshole.
And Michelle Yeoh is like a bad bitch. Like,
I
I
love
love her
Michelle
movies.
Yeoh.
I watch her interviews. She's so poised and like smart. So if she says he's a piece of shit and she doesn't want to work with him, but she's always putting Asian actors on and like helping out the community. So if she's like, I refuse to work with this man, you know something's off with him.
Yeah, and like she accepts a lot of bullshit with the shit that she has to deal with, especially with like Asian male actors with like the abuses and like bullshit that she's had to deal with, and like them even like stopping her career but for her to like specifically point out Jackie Chan and say that dude's a fucking asshole. Yeah.
You know it's bad. So about Etta, the daughter that he had with Elaine. There's not really much known about her, except for the very Western scandal of Jackie Chan disowning her for being a lesbian. And she's a lesbian. She married a white Canadian woman in 2018. And both of her parents like disapproved of the match. The reason being that Etta was like freshly 18 when she got married, and the woman was 30. And her mom was like, she's probably just like using you for your money. But I mean, you know how kids are. Like, she was probably like, didn't really feel the love from her violent, drunk ass dad. And she, probably just got like swept off her feet by somebody who was like showing her some love and attention at a young age. I mean, I've been there. When I was 18, I was dating like a 28-year-old. And at the time, I was like, oh, it's fine, age is, but then as I got older, I look back and I'm like, why would you, as an adult person, want to date a teen person? It's only because you desire that power dynamic where they don't know anything and you have to teach them like everything.
Oh
That's the
yeah,
only
my baby
reason.
daddy, he first contacted me when I was 18,
And how old was he?
24, turning
Ugh,
25.
It's
So
like
yeah, like
find
it was like
somebody
no
your own
reason.
age.
You knew what you were doing.
So gross, like this age gaps. And they're always so like manipulative. Like, because I'm 30, I'm turning about to turn 34 in April. I if I see like a young 18-year-old person, they look young to me, like a child. Like I have a daughter. Like you're closer to my daughter's age, basically. Like you're a
I
baby.
don't even want to date anybody like that's like 22. Like you just started drinking
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah,
You just
like
started legally being able to go to the store to get a drink. Get out of here, kid.
girl, like I'll be minding my own business at the bar, having a martini, as I do. And some young guy like slide up to me and start trying to holler. And I'm looking around like, nigga, you talking to me? Like, what? Get the fuck out of my face. Like, it's past your curfew. Go home. Like, what? And so, anyway, huge tangent.
No lullabies here, baby. Go to bed. I'm fucking tired. Like
Fresh out the womb, trying to holler at me. Like, get out of here.
they be so hyped too. It's just like, damn, you're giving me a headache.
They're like, oh, you're a MILF. I'm like, do you know what that means? You're basically coming up to me and saying that you want to fuck me and I'm a mom. Like, this is awkward now. Go home.
And now my feelings are hurt. I'm like, my kid's only 3. What? I'm a MILF. I'm brand new to this shit. You
I
fucking
hate when
asshole.
people
Get
say
away from
that.
me.
Yeah, get out of my face. Go to bed, kid. So anyway, huge tangent. But her mom tried to warn her, but what could she do? So Etta has a terrible relationship with her mother, and she said that she would rather be homeless and eat stale bread than be in a room with her mother. Which, I mean,
Same.
I know how your situation is with your mom, and I mean, I could understand that if someone's mom is like as crazy or terrible as like how Etta probably feels her mom is, or how I know your mom is. Like, I can understand how she feels.
And it
Um,
also makes me think it's just like no 18-year-old wants to wake up and marry a 30-year-old fucking adult. That's not something that an
no.
18-year-old wants to do. Like there's trauma there.
Hmm.
There's I have nobody else to support me. There's I need someone older to guide me. Like this isn't something that somebody wakes
Yeah.
up and wants to do. Like this,
She's like, my
you know what
dad
I
karate
mean?
chopped me like in my crib one night,
If he
and
was
now
there, if he was there long enough to karate chop me. But not even that. It's just like so fucking sad, dude. Just like
it
when you
is
think
sad.
about
It's
it.
like it's not funny, but it's funny because it's like she's like, hey, yeah, bye, like peace
Like I told
out.
you, like I think like I had just like this big beacon on my head, like this person has no one to care for this. This person has no
And that
sense.
does attract predators.
Yeah, so like you have this person that's like, oh, you have a rich dad. Tell them to go get us some money. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, yeah.
But
So
she
like
didn't
I just
realize it
feel
was
so bad
broke
for
ass,
him.
mean ass Jackie Chan
Like Jackie
spending all his
Chan, like
money
he's
on blackjack and hookers.
you'd be more likely. Let me stop.
Um, so ironically, Jackie actually disowned Etta before she was even born, like because it's pretty shameful in Chinese culture to have outside babies. I just recently learned that term. Like when someone says, "Oh yeah, I was an outside baby," I was like, "What the fuck does that mean? Like you were born in a barn?" Like I was sounded so stupid. And everybody's like, Brie, how do you not know what an outside
Born in
child
a
is?
barn.
Because I'm like, is that a country thing? I had never heard that. I always hear like side baby. I didn't know the term outside baby.
No, no, Bree. When
But
you say
now I
born in a
know.
barn, I think of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Because I think about like an outside dog or like an outside cat or, like so when someone says outside baby and you never heard that term before, you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? You ever be born in a
That's
manger
fair.
like
There
Jesus
should be.
Christ?
It shouldn't be that much common of a term that people should know.
I'm like, were you a free
Shouldn't be a
range
thing.
child?
Shouldn't be a thing.
No, it
Shouldn't be a
shouldn't.
thing.
Um, so he speaks very little about her, and he just basically lets her struggle on her own and be preyed upon by an older woman. And he pretends to be like a cool, like nice, funny Asian dad in his movies, but like he doesn't even mention Etta in his memoirs. And so that has to be like some deep hatred because your memoir is the story of your life. You don't even mention hardly your kid. He has two kids, and so I'm sure he talks about JC, but he doesn't even like mention the girl just because she's a lesbian. Like, that's so
But that's the thing. It's just like people in like China were like, "Oh no, guys, like you don't get it." Like they're like, "Oh, Jackie Chan chance canceled because like he won't talk to his daughter because she was a lesbian." They're like, "No, he didn't talk to his daughter before she was even born. Like he doesn't care that she's even a lesbian.
right, right, and
He doesn't even love her because she was like an outside kid. Like he doesn't even care that she's a lesbian. She's out of wedlock. He doesn't even
right,
give a fuck about her
but it's
because of
like
that.
you were the one who made her, so it's just there's
They
no
don't.
logic. There's no fucking
There
logic.
isn't. Like when it's like that cultural shit, like it's either you know, or you don't. And I don't know. I'm not Chinese. Sorry.
Right. Said she's
Oh my God, I did
actually
the Donald Trump hands. Don't hate me.
Donald Trump has. Oh, he's like,
China.
we could. There was no way we could get through this episode without making that commentary. I'm glad you
Sorry.
did it and not me.
I broke the
China.
seal. China.
Oh my God. So she actually said she never met Jackie in her entire life, which I didn't realize. So like, I think he disowned her in
No.
2018. It's like he, like you said, disowned her before she was even born. He was like, "Whoop, bye."
That was
And
like the contrast in like Western media. They were like, "Oh, Jackie Chan disowned his daughter," and everybody in China and Hong Kong were like, "Oh no, he never owned her to begin with.
right,
Like you don't understand. Like he never owned her. It doesn't matter if she's a lesbian. Like he doesn't give a fuck about her when she was in the womb." And everybody's
terrible.
like, "What?" They're like, "No, he didn't give a fuck about her. What do you mean? He doesn't give a fuck if she's a
It's so
lesbian." I mean, that
despicable.
sucks. We hate that in China.
China.
In China, we hate that, but no,
But oh
he
well, it's
never gave a fuck
Jackie.
about her. Yeah, we were like, we hate that,
Bring
but
bring him some more blackjack and hookers. We love Jackie. Bring him all his favorite
yeah, he
things.
was like, get that out of here anyway.
So she never met him in her whole life, and I believe he's also estranged from her brother, JC, right? So,
Yeah, she never talked to JC. It was actually really funny because, like,
oh,
in an
sh
interview, she
he's
was, in it,
she's estranged from her brother, right?
yeah,
I think I read that
like
wrong.
they were like, well, why don't you like? They were like, well, why don't you like ask your brother because her brother is like a nepo baby in China, and they're like, why don't you ask him for money? And she's like, he won't talk to me. And they're like, well, did you ever meet Jackie? And she was like, did you ever meet Jackie? And that ended the interview.
That's so fucking funny. I'm sorry. I mean, like, no, okay then, keep it pushing. Why are you gonna ask me that? That's funny. I mean, I feel like her brother, he probably got his like brains like scrambled a bit when he got judo chopped across the living room. Because how are you gonna like
You say
also disown
judo
your
flop.
sister? Judo flopped.
Well, like that's kind of the thing. Like he's like the golden child, so he has to be walking on a thin ass line.
That's true, and he's the
He's walking a
boy.
thin ass line, or he's going to be on that couch again. Because like we said, he's an actor and he's a singer. He did not make him a martial artist because he cannot fight him back.
Jackie does not want us, okay? Like he's like, I can't train my own kid because he will get his lick back, and then I'll be flying across the room on the couch.
Yeah, I looked at pictures of him. Like he's cute, but he sure can't fight
Oh, I
Jackie
should have
back. He
looked
don't
up
got no muscle
pictures.
tone. He don't got no muscle tone. That's for damn sure.
Not no muscle tone. I'm dead.
Jackie would
His
fold
dad
him
made
like
sure.
Jackie would fold him like Mugu Gaikai.
He's like, you're not getting your get back. Stay weak. I'm sorry. So let's go ahead and talk about Jackie Chan's like general dickishness here.
All right. So as we know, Jackie is a dick. He loves blackjack. He loves hookers. He loves beating the shit out of his kids. He also loves cheating on his wife. He loves chauvinism. He loves the CCP for whatever reason, which is kind of like weird because his family kind of prevented that from like running away from China and having him board in Hong Kong. Like
Yeah,
dad
that
was a
doesn't
fucking
make any sense
his
actually.
dad was a nationalist spy. Like they were fleeing the Chinese Civil
Right.
War.
So Kind of weird. I didn't even make that connection. Yeah, that is really weird, actually.
So it was actually really funny. Like this is like how much he sucked as a dad. You know JC, the son that he like fucking what's that? What is it? Yamcha? You know Yamcha off of Dragon Ball Z that he had
Yeah.
like curled up in a ball? The one that he Yamcha'd on that
Yeah.
couch? His Nepo baby. He got arrested for smoking weed in China. Sidebar. Stop fucking smoking weed in Asia. Stop bringing weed in Asia.
Yeah.
In the Middle East and Southeast Asia, stop bringing weed to Asia.
And
Stop doing that.
I heard like Chinese jails are like not the business. Like you don't want to be in there and they will lock you up for a long
Yeah, no.
fucking time.
The only reason he was only jailed for a couple of months, and that's just because Jackie Chan is his dad. But also,
And
but
he
that's a
got
sidebar.
lucky.
Stop fucking smoking weed in Asia. Stop thinking that you can go to
Nobody's ever gonna
take weed to
learn.
Asia. Oh, it's just a plant. You're gonna get beat to death with bamboo sticks.
That's
They're
another
gonna
plant you're
beat
gonna
you.
meet. It's the
Yeah,
fucking
that's
bamboo.
another plant. It's gonna be bamboo, and they're gonna beat you across the back.
They're gonna pour
But
water
anyway,
over you and then beat you so that it hurts more. That's I heard that's
yeah.
what they actually do. So
No, they beat the shit. Yeah,
they make sure you're
yeah.
wet, shaking, cold,
They,
beaten with
that's
the
hilarious. I love the cultural mirrors between Black and Chinese culture because we used to do that shit too. It was like get in the shower before you get hit with the switch.
That's right. I didn't even make that connection, but yeah, that's right. With people and feeding people with plants. It's like find the hardest plant you can find.
It's just like it's like that like handshake meme of colored people with the
Ah, yeah.
yellow hand and the black hand beating the hell out of people with plants. Switch bamboo.
Um,
Anyway, so yeah, his son got locked up for smoking weed. He thought he could just like get away with that, even though CCP's everywhere. They see everything that you fucking do, everything that you do. He was only in there for a couple months because his dad, of course, is Jackie Chan, and he's like involved in the CCP. But his dad let him rot in there. He could have got him out, but he was just like, no, I'm gonna sit in
learn
there
your
for a little
lesson.
bit because Jackie Chan is also the CCP's mascot for the anti-drug campaign, and he
Bro,
took
are
that
you?
job. He took that job more seriously than he took his son being in a Chinese jail.
I'm so I'm speechless. I didn't know that. He
And
took
it wasn't an American jail, it was a Chinese jail. So
he took everything more seriously than being a parent. Like everything in life, martial arts, whooping
and the
ass.
funniest thing is Jackie Chan loves to like cock gobble the CCP, but the CCP
Gobble.
rejected him because because of his various moral failings as a person.
That's like a very kind way to describe having outside babies and then devoting your life to martial arts, blackjack, and hookers. Like that's
Yeah,
just
no, like
moral
that's
failing.
not even that. It's just like the things that we don't know about him that they know. They're like, you can't be a part of the CCP.
Right. So you know there has to be some shit like the
So it's
things
not
that he
even the
didn't
outside
mention.
baby, the blackjack and hookers. It's like, what else do they dig the CCP dug into his ass and they were like, what the fuck were you doing in 1988? You were sniffing blow off of a Korean's what?
Like, nope,
No,
yeah,
sir.
you
They were
can't
like
be in
various moral failings. Mom,
that.
like, and I can't believe he blew that because you know how clutch that would have been to be like the liaison between the West and China. Like
Right.
that's like their like mascot.
It could have been
They
also
love him over
simple,
here.
but he had
I love
to
him over
just,
here.
yeah, but he had to just, he couldn't give up the hookers and blackjack. Like, he just couldn't stop.
Yeah,
This
so
just
it's
shows
kind
he
of
has like no self-control.
he does. It's
Like,
also like
goodness.
he also has no self control over his mouth because it's also like the irony of a man born in Hong Kong, which doesn't have the CCP in his ass, and he was born to a nationalist spy. It says a lot about his controlling and abusive tendencies because he has two famous quotes when he was in Hong Kong saying this. He said,
Hmm.
and I quote, I'm not sure if it's good to have freedom or not.
What
Freedom's
do you
probably not a
even
good
mean by that? Like, what was the context?
that
What?
and I quote, I swear I'm not cutting out the context of this is like from a longer quote, but literally this is like a longer quote, but this is a summary of it. We Chinese need to be controlled. We'll just do what we want otherwise.
I'm actually speechless. What?
This nigga is like Uncle Tom. So he got people at Hong Kong telling him, nigga, get the fuck out. Like,
It's you and your moral failings. Hit the bricks, bitch. Like, oh my God.
I was just sitting there. I was like, no way Jackie actually said this shit, right? He did. He believes it wholeheartedly.
I'm still speechless. So you don't need freedom, and Chinese people need to be controlled, or otherwise you'll just do what you want. Like,
He's talking about himself, but you know how narcissists are.
that's right. Like, don't lump me in with you. Like, I don't do blackjack and hookers. I have a child. I'm a mom. I don't have time, but even if I did, I have self-control, so I'm just not going to do that. Like,
So with his involvement with the CCP, it's actually funny. So it's like, you can't sit with us, but you're still pretty useful. So he's like the anti-drug person, you know, he's kind of like the spokesperson for the West. Like he's an asset. He's an asset per se.
yeah.
But they kind of like scrub his past a lot, like they do with like their bigger people. And it makes like a lot of the darker aspects about him hard to find. Like, of course, there's going to be like more mumblings from the freer parts of like Asia that talk about him. Like in Hong Kong, there's like a lot of talk about how he's like in crime syndicates. It's really hard to like confirm or deny because they it gets scrubbed as soon as you look it up.
Wow. I could see that,
And
honestly.
and again, a man that has tendencies to blackjack and hookers just doesn't stop blackjacking and hookering. And
Yeah.
age doesn't stop a man like that. They just keep going. They pop a pill and they just keep going.
Yeah, I mean, we see that all the time. Like,
Oh my
you know
God,
how
yeah.
another baby
They didn't
daddy
even
that we
stop fucking Stephen Hawking. He was in a fucking wheelchair.
right, nothing will stop them. Like, remember we talked about Trump, and it was like, some of the women who are in his the White House, like when he was there, they have come out and said like he was a fucking menace to them, like grabbing on them and hitting
Those
on them and
tiny
stuff. You know
hands.
how old that man is? Like, ew, have some self-control. Yeah, with the tiny hands, China, like groping on all the women. Like, you're
Oh my God,
disgusting.
imagine you're wearing like a light colored blazer and you know how like men like to like rub against you accidentally and like his spray tan rub against your
Have
clothes.
you seen him lately? I saw him giving an interview or at a rally or something. I did a double take because I mean he's always looked, a certain way, like not good. But like now he's with age, he's sagging, but then it's like he's not fully doing the tan everywhere. So he has like lines on his face, like where like around his ears and like stuff where it gets his normal color. And
He's
then the
broke.
face. Trump is broke?
His filler and his Botox and his spray tan like budget, I don't think it's hitting the way it's hitting after all of those
I
court
think it's just
fees.
with age. I mean, he looks terrible. I really was
How's
like,
his hair? How's his toupee?
same. The same as always.
Okay, well, we'll see.
That's the
Cause he
thing
ain't
that
letting that
is
weave
gonna,
go.
no, he's never letting that weave go. Like, that's the one thing on him that's never gonna age, because, I mean, who knows what that thing is on his head? Is it synthetic? Is it human? Where'd you get it from? Who'd you get it from?
And it's such a particular color too. It's like corn silk.
Yeah, but now
It's
it's like
also
more
like
white.
it is, but also I would
Hmm.
like to say, and I've been thinking about this a lot. You can tell I don't really care who listens to this, but you can tell when like a white person is like a conservative because like they have that particular blonde where it's like they just bleached it to fuck,
Right, like
didn't
I don't want to be
condition it, said
racist,
fuck a
but
conditioner, said fuck shimmer lights, fuck a purple shampoo, a toner, what's Wella,
there's
and
a
there it
racist
is.
blonde. I know exactly what you're talking about, especially me living in the South, walking around, you see someone that like that color that you just described, and you're like, that person's
There's
fucking
no play of
racist.
the blonde. There's no. I say with blonde. There's multiple shades. This shit. It's just one flat yellow. It's like a warning sign. It's like yield,
And you're like, that guy
yield.
looks like he is gonna lynch me, you know, and he's like
That
lost
man
to the other
has a,
side of the
that
street.
man. Yeah, that man has tar and feathers in the back of his truck. I'm going the other way.
Oh
Back to
my
Jackie.
goodness. Right, right, just forget what we're talking about because we get so
Back to Jackie. So the one thing that the CCP didn't scrub about him and they couldn't scrub about him is that he is listed in the Panama Papers.
That's
And he
right.
has 6 offshore accounts that we know of. And personally, if I was his baby mama, I would get a lawyer and I would have every fucking account that had his name on it. But
Absolutely.
here's the catch. And girlies, listen up. Especially if you like K-pop, I want you to listen up. Child support is very, 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 very hard to get from Asia. So think
Hmm.
about that before you jump the gun.
I wonder why it's like that.
It's impossible.
You know what's funny about child support? Like, people will say, like, oh, women are the worst for, like, even wanting it. Like, spend your own money, you broke bitch. And all the stuff that we'll say about, like, moms, like us, just trying to survive and pay for our child to survive, right? And then it's like, but did we invent child support? Because we didn't. It's like a
No, we
patriarchal
didn't.
thing, right? We didn't invent anything. We didn't invent like the laws and stuff, like court systems, family court, like that's a patriarchy put that
And you know
together.
what the funniest thing is? The first, I think both of us, not even that, but like the first times that I've always hear child support mentioned is a man getting upset and trying to exert his power and be like, well, just put me on child support. Put me on child support. Then I'll pay
Right.
that amount. And it's just like, okay, well, I didn't initiate that to begin with, but okay, well, we'll follow through.
Very, very dumb.
Oh, yeah, that was funny. We had a situation. Should I say that?
What?
Where I was researching this child support in Japan.
Wait, wait, refresh my memory. What happened?
And I was like, wait a minute, I have to see the child support laws in Japan before I follow through because you need to help me in this situation.
Wait, so you found them, like,
Yeah, and they
oh, what
suck.
did it
And I'm like,
say?
they're hard. I have to be like in mainland Japan to get child support. And even then, it's impossible.
So you can't even be on like one of the neighboring islands that are part of Japan. You have to be on the main island of Japan to
Exactly.
get it. So you can never move. You will just be
Nope.
fucked.
Yep.
That's
It
terrible,
sucks.
dude.
Yeah. And I was like, what do you mean? They're like, I was like, what if an American citizen? They're like, if he doesn't acknowledge the child, you shit out of luck. And I'm like,
And I wonder why their like population is dwindling. Like why would you want to have a kid
that's why
over there?
nobody deal with y'all. That's why nobody want to deal with y'all. Like I was thinking about it for a minute. I'm just like, that's why y'all limit women leaving y'all. But
Yeah, well, in China, they had the problem with the population because they did the one child policy for so long, killed off all the girls, and then they're like, well, actually, that fucked everything up, and they're trying to like convince people to have kids, but at this point, like, look at like Gen Z, like, not to shit on Gen Zers, but it's like that generation, it's hard for them to like date because of the way culture
yeah,
has changed
no.
so much. And so you don't you see like they're not really doing that. They're online a lot. Like
They're
There's
not
not
living
really
life. And not even that, you
right.
know, like the new Korean feminist music, what is it, the four Bs? They're like, we're not having children unless you get your shit together. It's like, why am I having your kids and being with
Yeah, what's the
you
point?
when
What's the
there's
benefit?
no
Like over
like
there,
there's
like
no benefit. Like it's like I'm going to want to kill myself at the end of this.
right. There's no support. There's
And they're
no
like,
like
well, why are all the Asian women leaving? I'm like, because they're finding better options. And I can honestly can't blame them for that.
yeah, I would absolutely just leave. And then they're like,
But
what they're doing now, I read about this. I got really fell down in yet another rabbit hole
there you go.
where
3 in a
they were
rabbit hole.
some guys are actually like kidnapping like Asian women or like Chinese women from like the like more rural parts of China, where they work really
I'm
hard in like
not
farms and stuff.
surprised.
They're kidnapping them to bring back as like brides because like none
Yup.
of the modern like women in like the cities want to subject themselves to this marriage to a man,
No.
having a man's kid, and this is what you would end up like Jackie Chan's baby mama. Like hell nah.
I don't know. I mean, like, that's kind of, I mean, like, when you think about it, well, when I think about it, well, when we think about it, the benefits to back then, it was like you had no fucking options of getting married to a man. It was just like, okay, he can treat me like this. I'll have his kids, but at least I'll be completely taken care of. Now it's just
Right,
like, why would I do all this fucking suffering when I can just suffer alone without the headache, without the STDs?
exactly. The
Like, I
exposure
don't have to
to
take a pill
STDs.
every day if you were to
Right.
expose me to something, or like the trauma of being exposed to something that I don't want to see if I were to go through your phone. It's not worth it. Like it's so
No.
not worth it. And people are like, well, you know, dating is you need to date somebody. And it's just like nobody wants
Right.
to traumatize themselves like that.
Exactly. And I another rabbit hole that I went down was about the Uyghur people in China. Have you ever like
Oh
read
God bless them.
just minding their own business, trying to like, be Muslim and, live their lives. I'm not even going to get into the details because it's pretty repugnant what like the Chinese government is doing to those people, but it's like a multi-pronged genocide, basically. And
Yep,
so if
sure
you're
is.
supporting the CCP, and these are the things that the CCP is doing, it's like I know that we have said in this episode already that Jackie Chan's a piece of shit, but that's just
He is.
like another layer of shit that he is for supporting the CCP and judo chopping children and being abusive, violent, alcoholic, and abandoning his daughter because she's a lesbian, or
I
also
would
because
know, you know, I wonder if he would abandon her if that was another son.
that's a really good question. I mean, you know how they have treated women in China for so long. I watched this documentary. It was called like the one child policy, basically. It was just about that whole thing. And this woman, she's from China. She goes back to just interview people about it. And the stories they tell, I mean, they would have a child, see it's a girl, and just put it outside. Like
That's so stupid.
for
That's
someone
like
to pick it
against
up, or
nature. That's
it
so against
really
nature.
is. It's
Like the
really
basic thing
disturbing.
of nature. It's like it makes no sense. It's just like common sense. If everybody in your friend group, not even in your friend group, if everybody in your village had a boy, where are the girls going to come from to make more boys?
There was no logic to it. It was so dumb. And
Like
I
it,
mean,
where's the next step in this?
right. It's like, that South Park thing, like question, 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 profit,
Yeah, like question mark, profit.
profit. The fucking
Question mark,
underpants gnomes.
population. Like,
So dumb. And so I'm so glad I watched that documentary like before I had a child myself because it was brutal. And now as a parent, it's hard for me to like hear anything about children like being harmed or not taken care of. Like it hurts my heart a lot. And so I mean, like trigger warning for anybody if you're thinking you're gonna watch that documentary. I think it's on Amazon Prime video. It's really, really hard, some of the things that they're talking about. And then they keep saying, well, we didn't have a choice. And the girl, she was like, Like, you could have just left or fought back or kept the babies. Why'd you do this? Like, it's brutal. It was really, really hard to
I
watch.
can't even
So,
imagine that. When I like first found out I got pregnant, I was like on my knees praying to God. I'm like, please, girl, please, girl, please, girl, please, girl, please,
same,
God,
same.
please, girl. I want a boy, please,
I was
please.
so happy to have a girl.
If
And then
I see blue, I want to jump.
remember how I gave you guys the gender reveal?
Oh yeah, my daughter was capped. We all were on like a group chat. My daughter saw it. She was like,
So
she was like
basically,
two,
our
or
whole
was she
group
like
chat.
one? I forget.
No, no, she had to be two.
Yeah, she was just like,
So we
I had the
all
I had the screenshot.
that was really funny. The whole group chat got on a video call, and I was playing what's that song? Back that ass. Girl, you
Yes,
bring
you
it was a
were.
mess, yeah,
And that's when
imagine.
I'm like, wait a minute, where are we going here?
Right?
Like, I
You're
feel
like,
like
what kind of gender announcement is this? And then
I never,
I got in front of the camera and I was like twerking in a pink thong, and that's how I did my gender.
and we're all like,
I was like, yeah. Oh, that was amazing.
it was environmentally friendly. Don't judge us.
Right, I
Nobody
didn't
else.
set fire to anything. I saw these bitches got in the backyard, or not the backyard. I have a meadow behind my house. And there were people standing in that meadow because it was. Why are you laughing? Is it because I live in the country? Go ahead, get it out of your
No, I
system.
just imagine like you like having like I don't know like fireworks on your ass cheeks and like the meadow catching on fire. That's
Oh my
like that was
God.
going through my head. Sorry.
No, this is what happened. So I see them, all these people going behind my house. I have an end unit, and I'm like, what is going on back here? And somebody was with me. I want to say it was like Corey or somebody, and we're out, like, we're looking out the window, and then we see like they had these like confetti poppers, and they all popped them, and it was all this confetti, and I saw that they were, I think it was a girl, and I was like, oh, exciting! I like went out into my deck, whatever it's called, yeah, my deck. And I was like, "Oh, congratulations!" So they were all like, "Oh, thank you." And then they just left all the fucking confetti on the ground. Plastic pieces of confetti just laying there. I think, and that was months ago. I think if you go out there now, there's still that confetti to this day. I'm like, really?
I'd be so mad. I don't like
Yeah,
looking at confetti.
exactly. It's like glitter. You know how they say glitter is like the herpes of the craft world?
It is.
Like confetti, it's hard to get rid of. So now it's all just laying out there, like basically polluted, like littered in my fucking meadow by my house. It's really annoying. And so anyway, all that to say, that's why when you announce your gender, you should just work in the color of the thong of what the kid is.
Yeah. Do a thong reveal. Jesus.
Why not? Like, why would nobody else think of this? Duh. Anyway, um, where did we leave off? We were talking
So
about,
we're basically just wrapping up Jackie Wacky. Wacky
oh yeah,
Jackie.
Wacky Jackie.
What the fuck is his actual name? I don't even like calling him Jackie.
It was Chan.
Chan Kong Sen. I
So
don't like
wrapping him
that.
up, we don't know if he has other kids out there. He probably does, right? I mean,
They literally like if you're like in cahoots with CCP, they're gonna scrub you clean. They're gonna be perfectly fine. Like ever since the scandal with his daughter, have you heard anything about Jackie Chan? No, you
I
haven't.
haven't. I
Or
mean,
his
honestly,
kid.
when you said you wanted to do this episode, I Googled because I'm like, is he still alive? Because I'm like, you just never really heard anything about him. He's
He's
just in the background
hookering.
somewhere doing blackjack and hooker.
Yeah.
Um,
And his wife. No,
what?
I'm just like I hope his wife is okay.
I know, right? Are they still
I want to
married?
talk about the wife in
No.
this situation. Yeah,
Is
I
he?
think they are.
Are you dead ass? She's still
Mhm.
married to that guy that
Yeah, they don't leave.
cheated, had an outside baby, blackjack and hookers. That guy, the violent alcoholic that threw the kid across the room. Wow.
Let me check. Yep, they're still together.
Wow. You know,
Absolutely. Why would she leave? I mean, that's kind of like the thing. I think a lot of women thinking like the sunk cost fallacy. It's like I've been through all this. Why leave now?
that's true. You know,
And it's like
have you ever
men too. It's like when you go with another man, it's just like, what new hell are you about to put me through that I haven't been through already?
Right. That is a really good fucking point. I mean, he's probably like terrified her into submission at this point, throwing the kids around. Um, have you ever heard of
Stop.
that subreddit? It's called like I hope we don't meet or something like that, where they write stories like a fiction subreddit. And they write stories about like just horrible people. Like I don't know how to describe it. Oh, it's called
I
Let's Not
have.
Meet. Let's Not
Let's
Meet.
not
Yes.
meet. I have been on there.
That's how
It's
I feel
hilarious.
about people like Jackie Chan and like Chris Brown. It's like I would be so scared. What if I accidentally offended one of these like crazy violent men and they just judo chop me to the back of the neck? I'm done.
But that's the funny part. That's living life. That's living day-to-day life reality as a woman versus living fantasy as a man. It's just like, let's not meet spooky slender man versus hope I don't meet a violent
Jackie
man that
Chan. Yeah, I just don't
that
meet
gives me a premature end because I looked at him funny.
you. He was
Like
like
he threw
One
a
Punch
black man.
Man.
Yeah, he just like threw a toddler and I got scared and nobody wanted to confront him about it and I weren't sure why they didn't want to confront him about it. They were like, "Oh, you got it," and I was like, "Oh, that's not okay. Why did they say they got it?" And then he showed me his black belt and I'm like, "Oh my god,
He keeps
I'm
a fresh
done.
toddler in his back pocket at all times just for my enemies.
I'm done." Like you're
And
like,
it's
"Well, why
Jackie
isn't
Chan.
nobody fighting him back?" And then he just like rips off his shirt and you're like, "Oh my fucking
Oh,
god.
now I get it. Oh
Oh
my
no."
goodness.
I'm always scared that's gonna happen to me too.
What do you mean?
Just randomly piss off a guy that knows kung fu.
Oh, yeah, right. Like, I mean, these are those intrusive thoughts you have sometimes. Like, you have to be nice to people. You don't know who knows Kung Fu is a legendary martial artist. You just don't know.
But like, what if I accidentally tripped the old Asian man at the grocery store and he just
And that's
opens
the
a
end of
can
me.
of whoop ass?
He
I was like,
buys the
"I'm
whoop ass
sorry,
at the
Mr.
store.
Cho. I just needed
Don't
bitter
kill
melon."
me.
Well, that's basically Jackie Chan. Except
Um,
I'm not his toddler. So I
but yeah, so
apologize.
we're safe. We're not 2 year olds, so we're safe. What we need to give him a rating scale or a rating on a scale that we
All right,
make
let
up.
me think of the
What
rating.
is
Let me
that?
think of the rating. All right. So rating scale out of five. One would be blackjack and hookers, and five would be five of the five glorious stars on the flag of China.
What do they
It's
call
not
it? The People's Republic of
the glorious
China.
people of the Republic of China. I don't know. I don't like to give them formal names. They like to run over people with fucking
Tanks in Tiananmen
tanks.
Square. Man, you know what happened there? So the police were like shooting like armor piercing bullets just wildly into the crowd of
As they
protesters.
would.
But because there were armor-piercing rounds, it went into people's homes that were just not involved in the protest, minding their own business. So
Holy
kids,
shit.
yes,
Yeah.
I didn't know all that. I went down yet another rabbit hole, and I read all about this, and I'm like, they don't talk about it. So a Chinese person, if they come to America and you mention something about this, they won't know what you're talking about. They're like, what do you mean? Isn't that
They get
crazy?
brain washed. It gets washed. It's terrifying.
They
Because actually,
completely cover it up.
if you go down to our Chinatown, they still have like Chairman Mao like weird big giant
Right,
posters
pictures
and
on
stuff.
the
And
wall. Like, why? It
I'm like, why didn't it go up there?
was a very,
I
very
asked before. I'm like,
strange.
why are you there? But
Right? They're
anyway,
like, mind your business. Eat some bao.
yeah, and I do. That shit slaps.
I
So
think I'm gonna order some actually after we're done.
yeah, I'm really hungry.
Bao
This made me
buns.
hungry. I want
Yummy.
bao now.
I'm gonna order some. So
I want some bao. I'm gonna rate
that's our
him
your what?
a one.
Oh, on the
We didn't do
scale of
our
no, we
rating.
didn't even rate him. He's a blackjack and hookers on the scale of.
Black Jacket Hookers, because he's gonna punch me in the stomach and like rupture my intestines. I
I
know
hope
he
he never
would.
hears this episode because it's like Chris Brown, right? Like I was like, Island Virginia's gonna find me. Like I don't know where Jackie
Well,
Chan
that's
lives. I'm
kind of
scared.
like that's like us playing our odds. Chris Brown would absolutely whoop our asses.
He would wreck us.
Jackie
But I wouldn't stand a
Chan,
chance.
I don't feel
He would
like he
kill us.
would.
Really?
he could kill
He
us,
could, yes, with
but he
one hit.
wouldn't
That would probably
because
mess up his image, and the
it would just
CCP
be
couldn't
random.
cover it
It's
up
just
because
like
we're Americans.
not even Americans. It's like, why did you beat up those two black girls? What the fuck was that?
Right? And he's like, "Did you hear what they said about me?"
Why were you manhandling those two black women? What the fuck? Why were you alone in a room with two black women, Jackie Chan? They can't cover that up. No, I don't
Well,
think
he's
he.
gonna have
I
to
don't
whoop
think he
my
had that.
ass, ride north, and whoop your ass.
No, that'd be very strange.
So, with that being said, that is Jackie Chan, a notorious, violent, drunken, enraged, shitty, deadbeat baby daddy. Um,
He didn't pay a dime. I'm gonna reiterate that this man didn't pay a dime for his kid. She's on the street.
terrible. I just don't know how you can let your kid live like that.
It's not even his kid, like mentally, like in that
Right.
Chinese
It's just
mindset. He's like,
another
well,
person to him.
offset sperm. Oops.
So, where can our listeners find us on social media, Dee?
You can find us at WHY Baby Daddy Pod on X, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and that's pretty much it, isn't it?
I think so. TikTok? Did we say TikTok? Yeah.
And TikTok. We are also on
The
TikTok,
clock
and
app.
Bree is getting so many views on
I
TikTok. She is
know, like
hyping it
just
up.
rambling, rambling and making racist jokes. No, I'm just kidding. That was that one. That was
Girl,
the one Black
not on
History
the
Month
Jackie Chan
joke.
episode. Not on the Jackie Chan episode. Don't do that.
No, no, I was talking about my Black History Month joke.
Okay, good. Don't do that.
Dee!
No, not the one Asian man that we covered. Please, God, don't.
Um, and you guys can also, as I always say, if you made it this far, leave us a review. It's, especially on Apple Music, we only have like a couple reviews. We only have a couple, the 5 star. So if you're listening on Apple Music, show us some love on there. It would be very
Just give it a
nice.
little swap. I know, like the
One
preferential
click.
one is Spotify, but
Yeah, but wherever you're listening, just support us. And
give
if
us a
you want to
little love.
support us by buying some merch, you can go to click the link in our little show details or click our link tree, wherever. It will take you to our merch website. We can get a t-shirt with our faces on it, or a tote bag, or both. You know,
Yeah,
whatever
get
you
my
want.
face. I'm doing this.
And I'm holding a teacup because we got the
She's
tea.
spilling the tea. Yeah, yeah.
Spilling that tea. So thanks for listening, and we will talk to you next week. Bye.